Hi, this is Jared with MetalsPeak.com, and today we're reviewing the latest release from Southern California metallic hardcore outfit Nails. The album is called Abandon All Life. It's going to be released on March 19th of this year through Southern Lord Records. For brutality, I gave this one an 11 out of 10. Nails has pretty much been my go-to band for the last year or so when I need something just raw, mean, and pissed off. Their debut LP, Unsilent Death, has pretty much been a staple in my echelon of angry music that just, helps me come down off a bad day or maybe a little road rage or something like that. If I can just throw that one on and roll down the windows of my car and just drive around for a little bit, really helps, just gives me the catharsis I need on days like that. So it's just, I'm really hard pressed to think of an album in my collection that packs as much vitriol and anger as that album, at least until now. The new album, Abandon All Life, pretty much takes everything that made its predecessor awesome and cranks it to 11. The band wasted no time pummeling the listener straight out the gate with the track In Exodus. That one bleeds into the next two tracks, Tyrant and Absolute Control. Those ones are clocking under a minute. They're short, but they're still lethal as fuck. God's Cold Hands is another just utterly chaotic song on the album. That one kind of leads into Wide Open Wound, which is probably the second longest track on the album and probably one of the slower albums. They pull back the throttle a little bit, but that doesn't mean the song's any less heavy. The whole song just has this real kind of gut rumblingly sludgy breakdown riff that bears a little bit of resemblance to one of their previous tracks called Lies, which was off of an EP of theirs that was released earlier this year, or late last year. But somehow that breakdown is probably a little heavier and if possible, more awesome than the one on Lies. After that, it's pretty much back to just balls out bedlam with the album's title track through the end, except for the album's closer, which is called Sum Quique, I think, which is the pretty much the longest track on the album, and has again just kind of that kind of southern sludge feel to it, with lots of chug riffs and just dirty music in there. Honestly, this album is seriously just the meanest slab of hate I've ever heard in my life, and I love every fucking second of it. For songwriting, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. As music genres go, hardcore and metallic hardcore, that template's pretty hard to fuck up. D beats, accelerated punk progressions, distorted vocals, beefy production, breakdowns, leather, rinse, repeat. But there's some bands that just don't get it. Whether it's too many gang shouts, too much PMA, which if you don't know is positive mental attitude, too much pretentious tough guy bullshit, and the formula pretty much falls apart. Not so with Nails. This is hardcore done right, if I may say so myself. Do I consider myself a hardcore aficionado? Not really, but I think at the core of, if you'll forgive the pun, of this genre of music is just that visceral reaction, that emotional release that comes from music like this. So I have a very visceral reaction to this music and pretty much everything that Nails has done up to this point. Every shredded note, every cluster bomb beat, every throat throttling utterance just feels right and pretty much emasculates every album in my collection, which anyone would see fit to label as hardcore. Um, you know, this is a well-rounded album. If you listen to it enough times, you'll realize that there's a method to the madness. It's not just pandemonium executed with reckless abandon. If I had a gripe with the album, maybe with song length. There are some songs, that I wish, especially the second and third tracks, that are just blisteringly fast, and I wish they would just go just a little longer. But by the same token, I can also see how no normal human would be able to play at that pace for longer than a minute. I don't think it'd be possible without your fingers setting on fire and your voice box exploding. So we won't begrudge them that on that end, I suppose. So. On production, I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. The album was actually recorded and produced by Converge's Kurt Ballou at his own God City Studios. And this genre of music is perfectly fitted to his ear and his gear. if you don't know, he's pretty much the go-to guy for most hardcore and metallic hardcore bands that want the job done right these days. And this album is just a perfect example of why. Uh, I think the best way to describe the production here is beefy but nasty. The low end is insanely rumbly, the guitars cut through the air like rusty razors, and the vocals just sound like a swarm of angry locusts. The production on this thing is just crusty, it's filthy, and it's mean, just like it should be. It's perfect. For repeat listenability, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. I just got the album yesterday, and I can't put it down. I've listened to it probably 30 times already. It's a short listen, clocks in under a half an hour, but goddamn, what a ride! I literally cannot put this album down. It's completely fucking awesome. Artwork, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. We only received the digital promo of the album, so I can only speak about the cover. This is a bit of a paradigm shift for the band, as their last few releases have featured cover art kind of reminiscent of the old Xerox fanzines of the 80s and 90s. This time around, they opt for a group of black cloaked figures set against a distorted blood red black background. It's borderline unsettling, nothing really mind-blowing about it, but it kind of goes against what you would normally expect, so we'll give them a pass on that one. So overall, I'm giving this album a 9.6 out of 10. This album rules, plain and simple. If you're in the market for something that's just completely angry, completely vitriolic, and is nothing short of an all-out oral assault on the senses, then look no further. If you're a Parkway Drive fan looking for bromance, fist-bumping, flat brims, and tank tops, keep on walking, Charlie, because this album will fucking eat you alive. That's all I had. Thanks for listening, and have a good one.